That's gonna hurt.
Oh, hi. I didn't expect to see anybody else here. Uh, Welcome back to the Music Snob. Thanks for stopping by. I didn't expect to see anybody here. I just want to know, does this look stupid?
Wow.
I saw this in a music store and I just had to get it. I don't know if it goes great with my product placement, my Music Snob shirt or not, but I figured I'd put it on just for the hell of it. A couple weeks ago I did a video about this Gene Simmons bass I got, and I pointed out this other bass that I had. I'm like, maybe I should play some bass. I'm a terrible guitar player. I'm terrible at most of the things that I do in life in general, especially dressing. So what I thought I'd say is do another
Easy licks.
easy licks, but for bass. So it's more or less easy bass lines. And I didn't want to focus on any particular artist. I'm just going to play 10 bass lines that you should, as soon as you hear it, you should know what it is. And maybe I'll put up some crappy tab up here again. And let's just try to learn some, well, maybe, I don't know if so much about learning. It's just, here's some 10 cool bass lines that are really easy. I'm not going to focus on the whole song. Just the bass line. Just the opening hook maybe you might catch you, or it stands out. And they're pretty obvious and pretty easy, pretty recognizable. So let's begin. I know this tie is going to come back and haunt me later. I'm going to start here. This should be pretty easy. Let's see if you know this one. Does that sound familiar? It should. It's Loverboy. Of course, everybody loves Loverboy. Turn Me Loose, which is pretty simple. It's a 4-string bass. I'm not going to go nuts. I'm not going to bring out the Gene Simmons again because I don't want to go crazy here. But this, first, I'm going to point out right now, this is the Green Bastard. From now on, if you see it in the background, of course, you got Mr. Pink right here. You got Barry the baritone. Over there, of course, the Purple Haze. I haven't named everything yet, but this one right here, I'm calling it the Green Bastard because it's beautiful. This is a Jackson. I think I paid $180 for this thing in a guitar center, I think in Seattle, maybe? Yeah. So it sounds great. I don't have a great bass rig or anything set up for this thing, but I hope this sounds okay. But anyways, back to the song. Pretty simple. On your E string, on your G, E, F, G, and you're doing more or less, it's just kind of an octave because this is also a G on the D string. So you're just doing that. And then you're just sliding it down a half step and a full step back to the F. So that's pretty much it. That's the entire thing. It's going to change later on in the song, but that's all you need to hear. Say you're that guy, and you want to go to the music store, play every guitar player you want to do if you want. If you want to play guitar, you want to go play in saxophone, whatever the hell. This is the one, or keyboard. Wear the tie though. If you're going to play bass, go in there and start playing this. Maybe somebody will think you know what you're doing. I can't guarantee it. Man, I look like I'm still in the 80s. I think it's ridiculous. This one, looking at me, you might not think this would be something I would know. But I've learned this over time, and it's pretty easy. And see if you actually know what it is. Now, first of all, I've mentioned I don't have a great bass setup. I'm not really a bass player. We just bought this because it's cool, and we had tried to find a Dean that looks like this because there's a Dean like that pink Dean bass, and then we found this and it plays better. So we got it. Anyways, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, and it sounds more like that snappy thing, just the way I have this set up. So, anyways, really simple. You're more or less staying on your D string and your A string. And it starts on your, what is that, F sharp. And then that, which is your C sharp, So you're really only going to be using these 4 notes. These are the ones you're using. So it's this, and then this. And that's 99% of the bass line for that song. So just try to get that feel. Later on, it goes up to kind of based more or less on the G string, doing the same thing, sort of. And then back up to the other part. So on this one, basically it's more or less the same thing. You're just skipping a beat at one point. So, and then back up here. And then the chorus, I don't even know if they're actually using a bass line, but if you want to go nuts, it's like. There's no tab for that because I just made that part up. But 99% of the song, this is all you need. And then this part is just about the same. Even if you played it exactly the same way, I don't think anybody else knows. If you watched any of my other videos, this song, I played it on that little, well, it's down there. You can't see. The little rubber bass that I have. I've been just doing it, screwing around. But this, once I play this, you're going to think it's one of 2 different things. So let's just do it. So, depending on when you were born, you either think that's Queen and David Bowie, or you're some kind of who thinks that it's Vanilla Ice. It's the same song. It just Vanilla Ice, stole it. So, or appropriated. Anyways, it's pretty simple. You're only using 2 strings. You're using your D and your A, but you're on the 12th fret, and it's just as simple as this. On the D string, and then the A string. That's the whole goddamn thing. That's all you need to know. Once you start doing that, if you want to start doing it differently. Because there's a point in the song where he does that. But 99% of it, well, the majority of the verse is this. So you start scatting like Freddie Mercury, you can start rapping like Vanilla Ice over that. Stop! That's it. That's the whole damn thing. When I was younger, I first started actually playing bass. This is one of the first ones I learned. It's an old classic song, and you should know it just from this. So you should know it. It's Stand By Me by Benny King. You're sticking on your A and your D strings. You're starting on the 7th fret on the D string. And then he slides down with the 6 to the 4. And there's a little bit of a fill. The 7 on the A string. Slide a bit down. 5. Let's try that, shall we? Pretty simple. I had to fix my thigh because it looked ridiculous. It's probably coming out soon. Hey, I had to do one by a great Canadian band. So if you're American, you might not know who this band is, but it's one of the best bands that ever existed. I wish more people knew them. If you're Canadian, you probably know what this is right now. Canadian, Tragically Hip, best bands that ever existed. And of course, Blow It High Do. I'm just focusing on the riff. Well, it's a
Easy licks.
but it's pretty simple. You're on the 9th fret on your D string, and you're on the 11th fret on your G string, and you're going to use actually the 9th fret as well on the G string. But you start off here on the 9 and the 11. Actually, sorry, it started. There's a little opening piece. So it's 9, 9, and then you go to the 11. And then he goes down to the 7 and the 9, same thing. And back up to the 9 and 11. So when somebody starts playing that, if you're playing it in the bar, if you're playing it in the guitar store, there's a good chance. If you're American, people don't know what it is, so they're not sick of it yet. But if you're Canadian, they'll probably go, oh, that guy thinks you know how to play bass. But it's like this. It's just as simple as this. Just practice this part. And then when the band kicks in, it's one of these things. It's basically you're playing like a B and an A, but just like one of these comes in. So it's a B and an A, B, A. So on your A string, it's the 2nd fret and the open string. That's when that comes in, and then when it goes back down, like when you come from here to here, later on it's an A and a G. So you can either do it like this, like your open A and a G here, but you can do it like A and G on your E string. Or down here. That's all I want to do. I want to do the whole song because we'll be here for 3 days. So, Tragically Hip, Blow It High Do, another great
Easy licks.
lick. Have you ever been at a party where there's that guy who's doing this? I guess you haven't lived in the 80s then. Anyways, what do I want to do here? I'm just going to put this over here for now. I just want to stress, again, this is more or less for beginners. If you have a bass, you don't really play it much, and you want to just learn some easy little licks,
Easy licks.
maybe this is for you. If you are a good bass player, you shouldn't be watching this. Just don't. It's a waste of your time, and, well, mostly your time. Yes, this is exactly what you think it is. I decided to do 5 on the Green Bastard and 5 on this thing just because we have it. I know I showed a little bit of this in the Gene Simmons thing. I'm not gonna play the Gene Simmons bass today. I'm just gonna focus on 4-string songs. This one we got from a guy at Facebook. I got no history of what this is. I know the other one's a Jackson. I know it's green. And this one we saw it on Facebook. We had to have it, and I believe he got it from AliExpress. Kind of set it up himself. It's not exact to what Michael had, but it plays. It's pretty good. So, because it's a Michael Anthony bass, I had to do, and I'm tuned down for this for those of you who are sticklers. But it goes something, and I tried to fit the whole thing into the into the shot because it's so big. You see Eddie coming in now and doing his part, and you know, I can't bend over like David. But that's, as soon as you play that, people are gonna know just from that, and it's just as simple as that. It's just your open E. That's it. And I'm using a pick just because I don't think I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure Michael Anthony uses a pick most of the time. So yeah, it's the odd thing when it goes into the actual verse. Sampo da, if you, it's an A. And back to the E. That's the whole. Well, you know, Michael's an intricate player. That's one of their older classics, and that's as good as it's gonna get. I know it's kind of hard to keep this thing in the whole shot. I have enough trouble doing this all day. I can't get the camera set properly. Anyways, you should know this one just when I start playing it. One of the best bass players that ever touched a bass. Thank you for that. You should know this just from this part. You should know that. That's Steve Harris. That's Iron Maiden. Run to the Hills. He's kind of, in a little way mimicking the guitar part. But that's when you hear that, you should know that that's Iron Maiden. So you're only using 2 strings. You're using your G and your D. You're starting on the 9th fret, and you're using the 9 and the 7 for this when it starts. 7, and then back 7, 5, or 7, 9. And you slide it down to the 5. 7, and then up here onto the D string. That's the whole bass line for just the start of the song. I'm not going to go crazy with Iron Maiden and play the entire thing because we could be here for 3-4 days. Just trying to show you the first 2 minutes of the song. So this is the opening part. You start playing this, people know what you're doing. This one, again, it's simple. I'm trying to fit into the camera. This one, depending on how old you are, it's either from a rock god or from, let's say, a rapping god. But it's something like this. You should know it just from when I started. Do you recognize that yet? That's The Joker by Steve Miller, also sampled or reworked as Angel by Shaggy. It's more or less just 3. You're starting on your F on your E string, and then a B flat on your A, and then a C on your A, and then the fill is it's a G, A, B flat, A, G, and then you add like an 8th note of a C here. So you're just in these little spots here. So. Technically simple, but you're going to have to practice it a bit. Okay, this one's going to seem weird, but everybody should love a little bit of country music. Now, I used to be a country singer, and I was terrible at it. But when it came time for a bass line that everybody knew what the song was, this was it. Good Hard Woman, Waylon and Willie. Again, pretty simple. And I'm just going to do the opening part because the song kind of kicks off with the bass. And this is the wrong bass for it. I don't care. A stand-up would be better, but I don't have one. Even the rubber one might be better. I don't know. But you're just using your A and your E string, and it's like the 1-5 thing. You're starting on a D, and then you're doing the 5th, which is the A. Everybody hears that, they know what it is. So when Waylon starts coming in, it starts, and then the chord progression goes up to the G. So you're doing the G and D now. Up to the A. So an A and an E. Back to the D again. That's just a little fill. It's just more or less just the run of the actual, it's a run. So that's pretty much it. The chorus is exactly the same. It does change later after the solo thing, and it goes up a full step and starts on the E. See, not only did you learn some metal, you learned some country today. This is the 10th one, and this last one, again, I might not look like the kind of guy. Well, what do I look like in the first place? If you watch any of my previous ones, you might not think that this would be something I'd be a fan of. But, I just did the country thing. So what's the difference? So let's see if you know what this is. Should know it. It's Maneater by Halen. So if I had a saxophone, I'd be over here pretending to play it as well. Well, I could bring out that little pink thing again, but we're not going to do that. So pretty simple. Using 2 strings again. You're using your A string. You're using your E string. You're starting on the B on the A string. Then an A. Then up to the G on the E string. Back to the A. And it's just the only real change until the chorus comes in. Instead of just playing nothing but A, you're going to add the B and a C sharp here. Back to the B. So it's just a little kind of a little fill, I guess, a bass fill between just to get you back to where you start. So. Now, I'm trying to hide it. There's 10 easy licks.
Easy licks.
On bass. Well, easy bass lines. And aren't you glad I didn't pull this thing out? You know what? I could just do a little one. I'm sorry. Hey, but thanks for watching. If you did, I hope you learned something today. On
Easy licks.
Well, bass lines. I might do 10 more of these at some point. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll bring out the Gene Simmons bass again. I don't know. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like or perhaps subscribe. And of course, share. Because sharing is a treasure. And again, as always, thanks for watching the Music Snob. And I hope I see you again. Who knows? I might pull some more of these out of my ass, or I don't know what's next. You never know. I hope it's something that you enjoy.
Bye.
I leave that.